Hello everyone and welcome back to school and welcome back to music class. I'm so happy that you're here today. I hope you had a fantastic break. And now we are going to go ahead and dive into our lesson today. In our lesson today, as you might know, we've talked about our three previous instrument families. We've talked about the brass family, the percussion family, and the string family. And now we are going to talk about the woodwind family. Now, our woodwind family, you see some instruments right here. And we're going to go in depth about some of these, but some of them that you might know, this right here is the flute. We have the piccolo, which kind of sounds like the flute but higher. We have the clarinet. If anyone has ever seen SpongeBob SquarePants, this is what Squidward plays, is the clarinet in the woodwind family. And we have our bassoon right here, along with oboe. Some other instruments, we have a large variety, and these show instruments from a lot of instrument families. Of course, we've talked about the brass family. Here we have the tuba. We have the saxophone that is in the woodwind family. We have some more brass instruments around. So today we're really going to focus on our woodwind instruments. And talk about that some more, we have Mr. Quaver and his video of the week.
What on earth is that?
Someone is being attacked by a flock of wild geese. And someone is playing the bagpipes.
I wish it was the case.
As you may have guessed, today is National Take a Woodwind to Work Day. Unfortunately, not many people signed up, so I will be surrounded by woodwinds all day. Randolph, great bagpipe playing. I'll see you on the walk home. I'll get the door. Morning, my marvellous marble friends. I shall now entertain you with this recorder, the most simple of all woodwind instruments.
We're already on the woodwind overload.
Why's that?
To win your ears, recover from the man playing that bellowing octopus of an instrument. Listen to what is happening down in the lab.
What kind of music do you call that, Jumble?
Woodwinds, you silly composer. Because those instruments were once all made of wood, and you use your wind to make music.
I wish one instrument would win. The others would lose and be quiet.
Right, that reminds me. I've got a woodwind quintet coming this morning to the shop. I completely forgot.
Unfortunately, they didn't forget you.
With the studio to bar to your wacky star, you love to love music, really love music, a never-ending journey of music, Quaver's mother's world.
The Woodwind Family.
Whoa! I'm joined by this brilliant woodwind quintet. There's Michael on the bassoon. There's Ashley on the piccolo. There's Michelle on the oboe. There's Shantae on the flute. And there's Jasmine and her clarinet. We're going to test the range of each instrument, how low to high they can go, using this marvellous invention. Dun, 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 dun. The rangeometer 3000. Right, Michael, hit it. I want your lowest note and your highest note. Cool, feel all right? Let's have a look. Look how low he goes. Really much lower than the bottom line on the bass clef. Now, let's test the piccolo. Hit it! Ouch. Right, now that was started in the treble clef and went way, way above the top line of the treble clef. Now, to the oboe. Hit it. Perfect. Now, not quite as high as the piccolo, but still higher than the bassoon. Right, let's hear the flute. Cool. Hold that. I don't know why, but hold it. Look at that. Not as high as the piccolo, but kind of similar to the oboe. Now to the last one, the clarinet. Boom, chicka boom. Jasmine, hit it. Great range. Look at the range of the clarinet. It's more than all the others. Right.
What is he doing to those people down there?
Something involving a rabbit and ducks, I think.
Yeah. Oui.
Now, we're going to put them on the stairs in range order. Michael, you go to the bottom of the stairs. Ashley, I think you need to go to the top of the stairs. Michelle, I think you're in the middle. Off you go. Shantae, you go next to the piccolo because you're second highest. And Jasmine, you go next to Michael. There we go. They're all on the stairs in range order from lowest to highest. Cool. But that's not the whole story. Each instrument has a range from low to high, but also each instrument has a timbre. No, not timbre, timbre. Timbre is to music like shades are to colour. There's not only one blue, there's dark blue, light blue, royal blue. They're all blue, but each one is distinctive. Right, I'll play my C. Michael, play a C that's funny sounding. Jasmine, play me a mellow C. Michelle, play me a suspicious C. Shantae, play me a sweet C. Oh, how sweet. And Ashley, play me an excited C. There we go. All different Cs, but a whole range of different feelings to them. So there we have it. Woodwind instruments. They're made differently. They look differently. They have different ranges and different timbres. And believe me, they can play beautiful music together.
Practically everyone sounds like this when first beginning to play the recorder. But with practice, you get better. And occasionally stranger. But if you keep at it, the lowly recorder can produce some really cool music.
Over to you, Dusty.
Thank you, Paula. Now, here's what we're looking at as we zoom in on the clarinet. A warm stream of air moves from the lungs across the reed, causing the reed to vibrate. That's going to generate sound. Let's set that air front in motion, shall we? We see the air carrying the sound moving through the clarinet in this direction. Our forecast calls for it to escape through any of these holes. If they're not covered up by fingers. Now, if the keys are pressed, these valves will open, and that means 100% chance of altered airflow. Of course, the rest of the air flows out through this bell at the bottom. Every combination of holes and keys produces notes. Great fun, as far as I can see. Now, back to you, Paula, and a heartwarming story of a hamster that saved a family of mine. Good night.
Not everyone can play the bassoon. You have to have large fingers to reach from here to here. It is one of the least played instruments, so if you get good at it, you'll get a ton of jobs playing.
The bassoon is a double reed instrument. This means there is a reed on the top and on the bottom. To produce sound, form the word O with your lips. Place the tip of the reed on your bottom lip, tighten your lips around the reed, and blow.
The piccolo is so cool. It plays higher than any other woodwind. In fact, it is the highest instrument in the orchestra, and you can play it in a marching band. I love it.
To play the piccolo, you tuck in your bottom lip and blow air across the hole. Try saying the word two with a smile. This is the mouth shape you'll need to play the piccolo.
But the clarinet has the greatest range of all the woodwinds. You can play jazz on it. Listen to that. I love it.
The clarinet is a single reed instrument. To play the clarinet, cover your bottom teeth with your bottom lip. Then set the reed on your bottom lip and place your top teeth firmly on the mouthpiece. Close your mouth as if you are smiling and blow.
The O sounds the A note, by which all of the instruments in the orchestra are tuned before a performance. Without this, orchestras would go out of tune. Oboe is the best.
The oboe is also a double reed instrument. Bring your lips together as if you're about to whistle. Then place the reed on top of your bottom lip and in front of your bottom teeth. Tighten your lips around the reed and blow.
But the flute is the oldest of all woodwind instruments. Without the flute, none of your woodwind instruments would even exist. My flute can play jazz as well as pop music.
To play the flute, you tuck in your bottom lip and blow air across the hole.
The flute is definitely the best.
Hey guys, listen, you've got to work together on the music that I gave you. Now, don't forget the big event tonight in the studio, right? Okay, see ya.
Saxophones get their own episode. Saxophones get their own episode.
Welcome to the first of 3 matches in the World Orchestra Section Moving Championship. The first move is by Alex Logoshoff. Violins and violas to front, center, and left. Well placed by Logoshoff, and that's countered immediately by Berbatov. Cuts him off with cellos and basses to front right. Logoshoff plays brass to the back. No, wait, is adjusting it slightly to the right. Berbatov goes behind the brass section with percussion. Checkmate. No, wait. Woodwind to the center gives Logoshoff the game. 1-0 to the Russian. You really know your orchestra. I beat you in the next episode.
Now, to demonstrate the versatility of their woodwind instruments, my woodwind friends will now play something old and something new. First, something old. A piece called Arioso by J.S. Bach. Hit it. Listen to the way the different ranges and timbres of the woodwind quintet kind of mould together and create a great sound together. Try and pick out the bassoon, it's really low pitch, and try and pick out the piccolo at the top. And if you really concentrate, you can pick out the clarinet, the oboe, and the flute as well. That was brilliant, but now for something new, the Woodwind Jam! Saxophones get their own episode.
Oh, that is music to my ears.
Enjoy it while you can. The man with the bellowing octopus will be back soon.
Don't remind me.
The dark squad.
string, but I just couldn't decide between them. So I built this one-man woodwind bagpipe unit thing, and it's working brilliantly. Randolph, eat your heart out. You got competition.
All right. So now that we have learned a little bit more about our woodwind instruments, we are going to continue on and take one of our Quaver Quirky quizzes. All right, first question. Which woodwind instrument in the episode could play the lowest notes? So out of the instruments we talked about in the Woodwind family, we had the piccolo, the flute, the bassoon, the clarinet, the oboe. Which one of these played the lowest notes? If you said B, you are correct. Good job. All right, next question. Which instrument in the Woodwind family in the episode had the widest range? Ooh. Which one had the widest range? Let's see. Clarinet. I don't think so. Oh, I got it. There you go.
But the clarinet has the greatest range of all the woodwinds.
Threw you for a loop. It is clarinet. If you say clarinet, you are correct. All right, which instrument is this that we can hear? It's a little higher. We said the bassoon was the lowest. Piccolo is really high. So is it the flute or oboe? You said flute, you are correct. Alright, the clarinet has a blank reed. Now, I know in our video we talked about reeds. We need reeds to play most of our woodwind instruments, including the clarinet, we have the oboe, the bassoon, we have saxophone. So there's double. Is it a double reed? Is it a triple reed? Is it a single reed? Or is it a large reed? I'm going to give you a hint. For our oboe and our bassoon, we use double reeds for our oboe and bassoon. So it is not double, it is single.
The clarinet is a single reed instrument. To play the clarinet, cover your bottom teeth with your bottom lip.
All right. Double whammy, here we go. Which of the following woodwind reeds is played by tightening both the top and the bottom lips? So actually what you just saw in that small video, it said to play our single reed, you need to tighten your bottom lip. So that's our single reed. We want to tighten our top and bottom lips. It would be our double reed.
The bassoon is a double reed instrument. This means there is a reed on the top and on the bottom. To produce sound, form the word O with your lips. Place the tip of the reed on your bottom lip, tighten your lips around the reed, and blow.
All right. Which of the following is not a way to produce sound in a woodwind instrument? So which of the following is not a way to produce sound in a woodwind instrument? Single reed, double reed, blowing across the hole, or strumming it with your hand. This one's pretty straightforward. We do not strum a woodwind instrument.
Tighten your lips around the reed and...
All right, next one. What special responsibility does the oboe have in the orchestra? They talked about this a little bit in the video. The special responsibility that the oboe has in the orchestra. Our options are to play the different melodies, to stir the conductor's coffee, to sound the tuning A note, or is it to make duck noises? It is to sound the tuning A.
The oboe sounds the A note, by which all of the instruments in the orchestra tune before performance.
So before anyone performs, the entire orchestra has to listen to the oboe play their A note, and they can all tune to that. Number 8. Which woodwind instrument has the highest pitch? So we said our lowest was bassoon. We know it's not bassoon. So for highest pitch, is it the oboe, the flute, or the piccolo? It is the piccolo.
The piccolo is so cool. It plays higher than any other woodwind. In fact, it is the highest instrument in the orchestra, and you can play it in a marching band.
All right. Number 9. The blank is the oldest woodwind instrument. The blank is the oldest woodwind instrument. So let's see. Is it the bassoon, the piccolo, the oboe, or is it the flute? Let's see flute. There you go.
The flute is the oldest of all woodwind instruments. Without the flute, none of your woodwind instruments would even exist.
So when the flute was first made or first invented, it was only made out of branches and twigs and things like that they used to carve. So really, really, really old instrument. Last question. What are 5 instrumentalists playing together called? So when you had all 5 of our Woodwind family instruments, they're all playing together. What is this group called? Is it a quartet, a 5-piece, an orchestra, or a quintet? So I'm going to give you a hint. It is not a 5-piece. It is not a quartet because quartet means 4. Quartet means 4 people play together. We want 5. It is a quintet.
Listen to the way the different ranges and timbres of the woodwind quintet kind of mould together and create a great sound together.
10 questions. Good job. Next. Let's see what we have next. Here we go. Alright, this is called Where Shall We Sit? So we are going to listen to the different layouts, or there are different layouts to the band. We want to see where each instrument sits. So we're going to listen and see, are they percussion? Are they brass? Are they woodwind? What kind of group are we listening to? Are we listening to a band? Are we listening to an orchestra? Things like that. So let's see. Does this sound like percussion, brass, or woodwinds? This would be our percussion. This would be our percussion for number 1. Alright, let's see number 2. This is one we just learned about today. It is called a clarinet, and it is in our Woodwind family. Alright, number 3. This one's pretty simple. It is our flute. It is also in our Woodwind family. We did learn about this one today. Which one is this? Is it percussion, brass, or woodwinds? This one's a little hard. It is in fact a brass instrument. Can you think about what brass instrument this might be? Would it be a trumpet, trombone, euphonium, tuba, or a horn? That is in fact a horn. So guys, those are some examples. And you can go through and there's so many different audio bites that you can listen to and kind of like click around and see what they sound like. So I'm going to attach this in your Bitmoji classroom, no worries. Alright, next, what we have is, let me move this guy right here. So we have some orchestra instruments, and this is something else that I'm going to put in your Bitmoji classroom. You can go around, see the different parts of each instrument. So for example, if I uncover every single question mark, it tells me this is our lip plate. This is where our lip goes, so we can blow across the hole, the embouchure hole, the sliding joint, and the keys. And that's just the piccolo. And we have all these different ones. If you take a look at bassoon, it's broken up into pieces for you. It's really cool because you can kind of dissect, if you like science, you can dissect each of the different instruments and kind of see what is used to make up each instrument. All right. Next, now we really didn't talk about the saxophone that much, but I will talk about it with you a little bit here. The saxophone is also one of our woodwind instruments. There are different kinds. We have the soprano saxophone. We have the alto saxophone. We have the tenor saxophone, which just kind of looks like a larger alto. So here's the alto, which is a little higher sounding than our lower tenor, and it's a little bigger. And then we have our baritone saxophone, and this guy, if you see him in real life, he's pretty big. So the only one that really looks different is our soprano. It is our highest saxophone. And again, this is kind of like our last one. We can break this down and see where the mouthpiece is, the keys, and the bell. Again, each one of our woodwind saxophones have a mouthpiece. They all have a bell, and they all have keys. The soprano saxophone did not have what's called a neck. It's this guy right here. There's nothing really on it, it's just the pipe. But our tenor also has the neck, also has the same keys, the mouthpiece, and the bell. And so does our bari. Here's the mouthpiece, the neck, the bell, and the keys. Alright. Ooh, here's some Q-libs for the Woodwind family. So let's see if we can complete each sentence. So woodwind instruments were originally made of blank, and you use blank to play them. Let's see. Woodwind instruments were originally made out of, see this guy right here, wood reed, and you use blank to play them. We use air to play them. Let's check it.
Great job!
Awesome. Next one. The blank can play the lowest notes. We talked about this. It's called the bassoon. The bassoon can play lowest notes. So which one of these is a bassoon? You said this guy right here. You are correct. That is our bassoon.
Nice!
Next, the blank has the widest range. I'll give you a hint. This is the instrument that Squidward can play. If you've ever seen SpongeBob, that might be a little too old for you. That's what I grew up watching. But he plays the clarinet. Squidward does. The clarinet has the widest range, meaning it can play really high notes and really low notes. The blank plays the tuning note for the orchestra. This doesn't really look like it that much, but I think they're trying to say that this is an oboe. So let's see.
Nice!
So it's not exactly what our oboe looks like, but we will count that as an oboe. The oboe plays the tuning note for the orchestra. Do you remember what letter the tuning note was? It was an A. The blank is the highest instrument in the orchestra, and of course that is our piccolo.
All right.
All right, guys. Let's see what we have. Oh, this is a very simple game. So we've played this many times before. Mr. Brain, is going to tell us what he wants, and we are going to bring it to him.
This woodwind has the widest range.
And of course, we just talked about him. That is our clarinet.
Don't check a brain.
Has the widest range.
This woodwind plays the tuning note for an orchestra.
Now we just talked about this. That's our oboe. Do you know which picture is an oboe? The oboe plays our tuning A.
Great job! This is the lowest pitched woodwind instrument.
Instrument left is we have a flute as one of our instruments and a bassoon. Which one is lower, the flute or the bassoon? It is our bassoon.
Coolio! I need the material that woodwinds were originally made of.
And of course we have our guy right
Boom
here.
shakalak.
And then last one.
I'm trying to find the oldest woodwind instrument.
And our oldest woodwind instrument ever is our flute.
Bingo schmingo, you did it! You are the coolest kids ever!
Awesome job, guys. Alright. We are just rocking and rolling right through this. We are actually not going to do this today. But really quick, I do want to show this to you. It is just an example of what you can do with woodwind instruments. There are so many different types that we didn't even talk about today. But this is how creative people can really, really, really utilize woodwind instruments. They can use them for songs you might not know. They can use them for classical music. They can use them for jazz and even pop tunes. So we start with some percussion instruments, and here's our woodwinds. Alright, that's a song called Africa. It might be a little beyond y'all just because it is a pretty old song, but it's a fantastic song. So that's just an example of how we can use wooden instruments mixed with some other instrument families such as percussion and really get some awesome music, and we can make that music together. And there are also some instruments in here. I'm looking at the screen. You might say, Miss T, I don't recognize a lot of these instruments. Well, they use some kind of out there instruments. As far as the percussion family, we know this is a triangle. We've seen some of these woodwind instruments. This guy right here is actually basically a flute, and it is called a alto flute. It is lower, so it has extra pipe here. You can see it helps us get that extra long pipe, and we talked about this with our brass family. A longer pipe, longer tubing, means that we're going to have a lower sound. So because it has that extra tubing, we have that lower sound. But we also have these big instruments right here. This is basically a deeper version of our saxophone. And we have a bass clarinet right here, another one right here, just so many different instruments. And I know we only talked about a few of them today, but just know that there are very many instruments out there that we really don't talk about. Even in high school band, middle school band, we only use these guys really right here and our saxophone. So anyway, thought that would be interesting at the end. We are going to go ahead and jump to our Schoology. Let me see. There we go. Our Schoology exit ticket. And I am in my 5th grade course, just as my example. This should be for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So you need to, first of all, as we always have, find your course. It is going to be your music course. It looks like this. I have many because I am the music teacher. When you go into your course, you will see my Bitmoji classroom, of course, and the folder this week is called Woodwind Family Lesson, and it is in a green folder. So press on that, and we have Lesson 12 exit ticket. Press on that. Of course, we jump here, and we have our 2 questions. Let me go to preview mode because I am teacher. And the first question is, what is the piece of wood that is attached to most woodwind mouthpieces called? So most of our woodwind family uses a mouthpiece, and on that mouthpiece there is a piece of wood that is attached. Is that called bark or is that called reed? Bark or reed? Alright, next. Which woodwind instrument is not usually found in an orchestra? So in our video, Mr. Creever talked about all the instruments that you can find in the orchestra, but one that you can't. And that is our saxophone. Alright guys, so that is all I have for you today. Make sure you get your exit ticket done, and you are free to roam my Bitmoji classroom. And in my Bitmoji classroom, actually, I will remind you that, let me go to it right here. You might have already seen these already, but we do have a little Woodwind family video right here if you press on the saxophone. That's it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye guys.